I never believed in conspiracy theories, not secret experiments, not creepy government stories, and definitely not ghost stories. I was the kind of person who laughed at people who believed weird things happened in fast food restaurants. Until I worked the night shift at McDonald's. And before you ask, yes, this is a true story. Or at least, it's true enough that I still wake up sweating every time I hear a restaurant freezer door close. My name is Ethan. I was 19 years old when this happened. I had just moved to a small town outside Texas to stay with my uncle after dropping out of college. Texas money was tight, and I needed a job fast. That's how I ended up working at a McDonald's near Highway 81. The place looked normal during the day. Families came in. Kids screamed over fries. Truck drivers stopped for coffee. Teenagers laughed near the soda machine. Nothing unusual. But nighttime. That was different. The parking lot became empty. The lights felt too bright. And the silence inside the restaurant felt wrong. Almost like the building was waiting for something. My manager's name was Rick. He looked permanently stressed. Messy beard, coffee stains on his shirt, eyes that always looked tired. On my first shift, he walked me around the kitchen and showed me how everything worked. The fryers, the register, the freezer, the storage room. Then we stopped near a steel door at the back of the hallway. No sign, no label, just an old metal keypad beside it. "What's down there?" I asked. Rick immediately turned serious. "Nothing you need to worry about." That answer felt strange, but I shrugged it off. Every workplace had weird locked rooms. Before leaving, Rick handed me a key card. "Night shift starts tomorrow," he said. Then he paused and looked directly at me. "One more thing," his voice lowered. "If anyone comes in after 2 a.m. and asks for meal 66, he stopped. "You call me immediately." I laughed. "Meal 66? He didn't smile. "I'm serious." Something about his expression made my stomach tighten. "What even is meal 66? He looked toward the steel door, then back at me. "You don't want to know." The next few days felt normal. Mostly. The overnight crew had only 4 people. Me, a girl named Jenna, a cook named Marcus. And Rick Jenna was quiet but nice. Marcus barely talked. He mostly cooked and listened to old rock music through one earbud. But I noticed something strange. Every night around 2 a.m., everyone changed. Jenna stopped smiling. Marcus checked the hallway constantly. And Rick became nervous. One night, I finally asked Jenna, "What's the deal with this place after 2? She froze, actually froze, then looked around carefully. "You're new," she whispered. "Yeah, if someone walks in wearing black." She stopped talking. "What?" "Don't ask questions. That only made me more curious." Then came Friday night, the night everything changed. Outside, a storm covered the roads in heavy rain. Business died early. By 1:45 a.m., the restaurant was empty. The silence felt heavy. The kind of silence that makes you hear every tiny sound. The soda machine dripping, the fryer humming, the rain tapping against windows. Then, at exactly 2:13 a.m., the front doors opened. Cold air rushed inside, and someone walked in, a man. Tall, thin, black hoodie, hands shoved deep inside his pockets. His clothes looked soaked. But somehow, he didn't look cold. Actually, he looked pale. Too pale. Like someone who hadn't seen sunlight in years. And his eyes, they looked wrong, unnaturally still. Like he barely blinked. Jenna immediately turned pale. "Oh no," she whispered. Marcus stopped cooking. Rick suddenly disappeared into the office. No joke. He literally vanished, leaving me alone at the counter. The man slowly approached me. Didn't smile. Didn't blink. Just stared. "Welcome to McDonald's," I said nervously. "Can I take your order?" His lips moved slowly. "I'll have meal 66. My heart stopped. Meal 66. The thing Rick warned me about. I looked toward the office. "Rick?" No answer. The customer tilted his head. "You're new." It wasn't a question. It sounded like he already knew. "How do you know that?" I asked. He ignored me, then leaned closer and whispered, "Did they tell you about the basement?" My stomach twisted. "What basement?" He slowly smiled. And somehow, that smile felt deeply wrong, like he wasn't used to smiling. "You'll hear them soon." A cold chill moved down my spine. "Hear who?" Instead of answering, he reached into his pocket, placed an old keycard on the counter, then quietly said, "Lock the door tonight," and walked away. I rushed outside, but the parking lot was empty. No car. No footprints. Nothing, like he had vanished into thin air. When I walked back inside, Jenna looked terrified. "You talked to him?" "Yeah." Her eyes widened when she saw the keycard. "You touched that? What's wrong with it?" Before she could answer, the lights flickered once, twice. Then the entire restaurant went dark. The machines shut off. The fryers stopped. Even the emergency lights failed. Complete silence. Then bang. A loud metal sound echoed beneath us. Marcus stood frozen. "No," he whispered. Another bang. Closer, then scratching slow. Sharp, like fingernails dragging across metal, coming from below. My heart pounded. "What is that?" Nobody answered then. The steel basement door slowly opened by itself. Darkness stared back at us. And from somewhere underground, a weak voice echoed upward. "Help!" The sound barely sounded human. Rick suddenly appeared and slammed the door shut. "No one moves," he shouted. "What is happening?" I yelled. Rick looked terrified. Then he saw the keycard in my hand. His face changed instantly. "Where did you get that?" "The guy gave it to me." Rick cursed under his breath. "He came back. What's down there?" Nobody answered. That silence told me everything. Something terrible was hidden beneath the restaurant. Rick finally sighed. "You weren't supposed to know this." Then he locked the front doors, pulled the blinds down, and sat us all together. "What I'm about to tell you," he said quietly, "never leaves this building." Back in 2018, corporate funded an experimental food research program. Officially, it didn't exist. Unofficially, they were testing ways to make customers crave food more. Artificial flavor chemicals, behavior experiments, neural response testing. But something went wrong. Very wrong. A private research team built hidden labs beneath several restaurants, including ours. The basement wasn't storage. It was a laboratory. Rick swallowed hard. One night, there was an accident. "What kind?" I asked. He looked toward the basement door. "The people downstairs." He hesitated. "They changed." Nobody spoke. Marcus looked sick. "They stopped acting human." Jenna whispered. "They locked them underground." I stared at them. "You're joking." Suddenly, bang, the basement door shook violently. Something slammed against it. Then a voice echoed through the metal. "Let us out." The sound made my blood freeze, because dozens of voices suddenly joined in, whispering, begging, crying, all at once. The lights flickered back on. And that's when we saw it. The basement keypad blinking red DAX granted the keycard, the one the customer gave me. It had unlocked the basement. The door slowly creaked open. A horrible smell flooded out. Rotten food, chemicals. Something metallic, like blood-dark stairs, stretched downward. Then footsteps echoed from below, slow. Dragging one by one, Hawkes began climbing the stairs. Tall figures, human. But wrong, skin too pale, eyes too wide. Smiles stretched unnaturally across their faces. And every single one wore an old McDonald's uniform. Marcus screamed. Jenna cried. Rick grabbed the emergency alarm. But it didn't work. The first figure stepped into the light. Its voice sounded broken, hungry. Meal 66. Then all of them smiled at once. Rick shouted, "Run!" We sprinted into the kitchen, locked at every door, but banging echoed behind us. Louder, harder. The walls shook. One creature smashed its face against the kitchen window, still smiling, still whispering. Hungry. Rick led us toward the freezer exit. There's a back escape route. We ran outside into the storm. Rain hit hard. Cold wind screamed across the parking lot. Then, standing near the road, was the strange customer watching us? Completely still. I ran toward him. "What are those things?" He finally spoke. "People." "What?" "They experimented on us." The word hit me hard. "You worked there?" He slowly nodded. "I escaped." Then he looked at the restaurant. Lights flickered violently. Shadows moved inside. "You need to leave town." "What about everyone else?" His expression darkened. "It spreads." Suddenly, a loud explosion came from inside. Wandon shattered. Smoke poured into the air. The customer turned and started walking away. "Wait!" He stopped. Without turning around, he quietly said, "They'll rebuild it." Then disappeared into darkness. 3 weeks later, the restaurant reopened. Fresh paint. New staff. Everything looked normal again. Like nothing happened. No news reports. No investigation. Nothing. Almost like someone erased the whole thing. But here's the part that still terrifies me. Last month, AP stopped at another McDonald's during a road trip. A cashier smiled at me and quietly asked, "Would you like to try meal 66? I left immediately." And I never looked back.